also a little bit distracted by one of these banner ads. It showed massive cleavage, then it panned back and said, "Everybody wants a piece of the new girl." It's like,
Actually, that could be a good thing to discuss with the next week.
Well, we're still recording, so yeah, I could do creative editing here. All right, and we're back. We just had some fun. Okay. Just to cover some stuff that we hadn't quite gotten to for the last recording. Squato, you had something to say about some gamer news?
Yeah, there was a thing I heard on Good Game, which is a TV show. It's actually broadcast about games all that type of stuff. Apparently, there's been a bit of discussion over academic circles over whether or not there should be a new type of gamer out there, because of the fact that, in general, there's the hardcore gamers, and then you've got the casuals. But the thing is that the casuals are kind of drifting into some of the hardcore games, but not playing it as much, and you're getting some really fun. Yeah, you're getting some really fun casual games that even the hardcorers will be playing. For example, Portal. So they're saying that there must be a new middle ground, and it's being referred to as tourist, as a new type of gamer.
What?
I don't like the title, but I like the concept. I don't like the title.
Yeah, the title's a bit
stupid. They need to rename it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in long run. The community in general will be the one that comes up with the title.
Yeah,
but the concept is actually good.
Yeah, I'm right with you there, because I'm unfortunately no longer a hardcore gamer. I haven't been for a few years now, but I'm certainly not a casual gamer. My wife is a casual gamer, but I really enjoy going on Team Fortress 2, and I play Portal, and Half-Life's okay, but I like Quake, and but I'm definitely not hardcore. So,
are you on Steam then? Because I'll get your details then.
What?
Because you're saying with Team Fortress 2, are you on Steam?
Xbox Live.
Different. Gotcha.
I said something to Squato the other night about something, and he ends up calling me GLaDOS, and I'm like, I can't remember. And I'm thinking to myself, anyway, yeah.
Sorry, just burped. Oh. I was hoping no one actually paid too much attention to it.
I said something that probably anyone else listening would probably be going like, "What?" I says, I can't remember the name of the song, or the words of the song, so I'll just leave you with this simple fact that the cake is a lie.
Actually, it was so funny because.
Or no, there will be a party and there will be cake. I'm sorry.
My daughter.
Yes, that's it.
A couple weeks ago woke up in her crib before my wife and I woke up, and my wife woke up and saw our baby girl looking around, and when my wife was trying to sign to me later on what Freya was doing, the sign that she used was the sign for looking around, but I had just finished playing Portal all the way through for the third time. And when my wife did that, the only thing I could think was the turrets, the automated turrets going, "Where are you? Are you still there?" And instantly, this perfect idea for a costume for all three of us came into my head. There's actual shirts on ThinkGeek that have little cameras and built-in displays. They're like $99 per shirt. But one shirt is orange and one shirt is blue, and the blue shirt broadcasts the orange shirt and vice versa. So it looks like you've got portals on your chests. And my daughter would, my wife and I'd be wearing those shirts, and my daughter would be dressed up as a portal turret, and it would be so cute.
So cute, but look, it kills you.
You should put your daughter in like the orange jumpsuit and have her sit between you.
That's just as good. Make a little portal gun just for size.
Have the baby carriage roll between you guys.
But yeah, that's what's happening with you. That's another reason why because you're married and with kids and got a career. That's another reason why they're having the so-called tourist, because
that's your next Halloween costume, by the way.
Yes. Okay, so Zeph, you were trying to find the dates for the NMA Con.
Yeah, I'm still looking, actually.
Yeah, the site seems to be down. I'm having difficulty finding reference to it. So why don't you just give us the web address, and that'll give our listeners a chance to look it up later.
All right. The web address, as I had said before, last episode, break thing, something, is www.nmacon.net. Unfortunately, right now, as far as I can tell, the site is not able to be accessed. So for right now, all I can do is give you the basic ballpark idea of when it is. Last I had heard, it was supposed to be the 15th and 16th of August. Now, those dates, as far as I know, are not quite set in stone just yet, but as far as I do know, it is definitely going to be in August. So,
right. Okay. So let's move on to webcomic reviews. Looks like we do have enough time this time. Let's start with Squato. You wanted to review Wandering Ones.
Yeah. How can I'm trying to see if I can get a quicker detail of some of the nations. No, nothing on the website, wikis or anything on those. Basically, it's not a too bad comic. The art is kind of caught between professional and at times it feels a bit amateurish at the same time. The guy himself is meant to be professional visual artist. I don't care. As to the story itself, it's basically set in towards the end of the 21st century, about 60, 70 odd years ago or some crap like that. A disaster befell the Earth in which basically billions of people died, and in the wake of that, they've got would be considered the northwest part of the United States is fractured into various different countries and city-states. So think of it as a comic book version, a webcomic version of War, if you want, a real quick one. The stories in yeah, without the Ampho races and that. The story itself, the story itself is actually pretty good. It takes a very long time to actually go anywhere with stuff, but it's pretty impressive. It's got a lot of characters, and one thing that kind of draws it to makes it so very slow is because the guy is, I don't know if he's a survivalist, naturalist, or whatever, but he kind of focuses a lot of the comics on to being in touch with nature and having a slower pace with the world, and it kind of means the comic meanders at times, but yeah, the story does more than make up for it.
Okay. So you're saying it's a read it then? Yeah,
it's a read it.
Okay. What's the website?
Just wanderingones.com. One word.
Okay.
It's if you can't get there, it's on Keenspot, so get through there.
Yeah, that's good to know.
It's one thing I should say. It's on its second storyline because it's actually finished a book. He went on break for about a year or so, and he's kind of in the last 6 months or so, whatever, started up his next storyline, and I can see this one's going to last a few years.
Okay. Zeph, why don't you take it away with the comic you're going to review, Dungeons and Denizens.
Dungeons and Denizens. Well, it's actually... this one had me laughing a lot. There's a lot of kind of subtle jokes. The comic itself up somewhat sporadically, but I was actually able to read it from start to current the other day, and they have updated since then. But to kind of give it to you, to actually be able to visualize. I can't talk today. Think D&D with pictures, but more from the everyday working Minotaur's point of view within the dungeon. As Min. Yeah,
The everyday working Minotaur.
yeah. Min.
I'm thinking 16 tons playing through my brain right now as you said that.
Wait, say that again.
16 tons. You're 16 tons. And what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. Say, Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store.
Wow.
One thing, we finally got Homer to sing, and now we've got to work out if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'll talk to Simon and get him on American Idol. Anyway, Min, the main character of the comic, has pretty much a job as like the dungeon's tech support, really. His boss, a powerful undead guy that likes to fire blast people. Whee! It's really more like a day at the office, and Gygax is God. I can't remember names very well. I have a hard time remembering stuff. I blame that on deployment. The artwork is not overly graphically wowified, but it's not exactly order of the stick either. It's in between. It's actually very viewer friendly. Oh, that couldn't have been good. No, stuff fell in the background. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have read through the comic, and I would agree with you. It's very user-accessible art, and one thing I really like about it is the artist really doesn't go overboard in trying to make it look too much like, say, World of Warcraft. And that's one thing I'm not keen on, this trend of a lot of current comic artists. They'll say, World of Warcraft is the defining fantasy game ever, and it's like,
it is to epics.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what we thought about Dungeons and Dragons.
That's TEH.
That's what the next generation thought about the White Wolf series, and that's what the video game console gamers thought about Final Fantasy. You're nothing new. Don't get too attached to it. Just do your stuff. Be creative, and for God's sakes, find your own art style.
Those people
you could do the same thing.
They're the people that type. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you say your point, because it's going to be quicker.
Okay. I'd say those are the people that you can actually look at, and you can tell that Hooked on Phonics did not work for them.
Very true.
I was just going to joke about how, you're saying that World of Warcraft is be all and end all. Same point could be said, as you said, for Final Fantasy, D&D, and also Lord of the Rings, because those ones are not the only types of fantasy. In fact, it's far more interesting with other ones out there.
Yes.
I am quite partial to Final Fantasy, though, I will admit. 7 to be my specific. But
Never played a Final Fantasy game.
You should at least give it a shot. Just try it, at least. I would start with 7, though. If you like stories, yes.
I'm a Nintendo person, so I played Zelda.
Zelda's good, too. Have you played Twilight Princess?
And
yeah, it's pretty good, but
okay.
Flawed.
You mean
we played that Zelda song here.
So have you played Twilight Princess? I mean, every single other Zelda game in existence, with the difference that he's now a werewolf.
I like Anthros. Okay, shush.
The thing I really didn't like about that I felt they failed is they could have done along the lines of Majora's Mask, which was him sort of communicating more in nature, or especially with the wolf's component.
Okay.
And a huge pain in the ass.
Dungeons and Denizens.
It's a comic.
Yes.
The review done. Moving on.
The website. Okay, for those of you who want to access this comic, you can go to dungeond.com. That's DUNGEOND.com. And that's pretty much it. Good stuff. Read it.
Okay, thank you.
Well said.
Sorry, I like to spell my stuff out. Just because it helps with the confusion. Or
right.
lack of.
There's too much confusion.
To keep things...
There's no way out of here.
Homer, you have a comic you want to review?
Yes, I do. To keep things in line with the whole fantasy gamer idea, I'm reviewing yet another Fantasy Gamer comic, YAFGC for short, which doesn't roll off the tongue either.
Yeah, good.
The comic starts out kind of on the same line as Dungeons and Denizens. It's very clearly a Dungeons and Dragons comic. There's tons of in-jokes, tons of breaking the fourth walls, lots of realization that they're in a gaming universe. But it doesn't stay there, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. It's black and white, pencil art. You can still see the sketch lines, art style, but it breaks out of, I'm just an artist, I'm just drawing something, and becomes a really, really good story where you find yourself caring about pretty much every single character, including the antagonist. You want to find out what happens next. You want to find out where this story is going to take each particular person, or monster, as the case may be. There's been epic, sweeping stories, including sort of a parody of The Lord of the Rings, where there's a lich character that has been trying to take over the world for a couple thousand years, but he keeps failing. And they really delve into his backstory in this parody. And one of the more hilarious parts was when he forges these rings and then approaches the beholder in the caverns to give him the ring, and he realizes, wait a minute, how is a beholder going to wear a ring?
I've read this comic. It's great.
A wizard did it.
A wizard did it.
Right now they've got an interesting storyline. It's kind of a CSI fantasy gamer comic storyline.
A wizard did it.
Well, at this point, it may very well could have been, but we don't know for sure.
Well, it could be a sorceress did it.
That's possible as well.
Okay, that mod's dead. Yay!
I'm a bit behind on the comic, actually.
But they're trying to find out who murdered a particular person at this convention of bards, and it's got several old favorites of the comic showing up for this competition, either to view or to participate in.
Did they do cameos in that comic? Because I think that would be a perfect time for V from Order of the Stick.
If they did a cameo, I'm not sure anybody would recognize it, because the art style is so tremendously different that...
So don't change the art style.
Well, the only way to find out is if you have an elf that people are not sure if it's either male or female.
Yeah, they had one of those where I'm at right now. They actually had to rescue Prince so-and-so for something under the Black Mountain from the people. That doesn't explain anything, but yeah.
It's also incredibly vague.
For those of you who've read it, you probably know what I'm talking about. Well, sort of. There's like several arcs that are like that.
We're running from the general threat, which is approaching us from behind.
One of the threads in yet another Fantasy Gamer comic that I really enjoyed and was rather disappointed when they brought it to a conclusion was when a surface elf princess fell.
Wow, that's not an anime ripoff.
Listen, fell wildly in love with one of the drow from the Under the Mountain, and it wasn't a guy drow she fell in love with. It was the main female drow lead from, and she's like total dominatrix, total
Arachne.
Yeah, Arachne. And this surface elf girl making her way first off underground and then finding the Arachne's lair, and then it was just the best. It's like watching the dumb blonde cheerleader from high school putting moves on the goth girl. It's just hilarious. And
that was one of the better. That was definitely one of the better arcs.
Yeah, and again, unfortunately they drew it to a close. I was really kind of hoping that they would keep that particular gag going.
Oh, they might. They might have it doing something strange, like I don't know, kissing each other under the boardwalk.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. Anyway.
That which strikes me as being incredibly painful.
Yeah, well, you have a multi-billion-ton rock hit you in the foot.
I'll put it to you this way: never question an Italian who has connections to the mob.
Indeed.
I've been pelted with high-speed pebbles. Those suck. Those hurt bad enough.
Yes.
You can just shoot people in reply, though.
By the way, what's the comic strip viewer rating for those who like to read it, like G, PG-13, stuff like that?
For YA,
Might wanna...
YAFGC. If you're under 18, don't read this if your parents are home.
You should maybe with Wandering Ones.
There's boobies.
Side swearing, that's it.
Boobs. The thing is, nothing is particularly shown that's very bad per se. It's just if you have the American puritanical of, well, this is just not appropriate. Then
Stop in the name of American squeamishness.
Exactly.
There's these.
It's like, well, if you have a bunch of harpies that live in this underground mountain with an area that happens to face outward, and they don't wear clothes, then they're going to have naked breasts.
Hey, that's a beholder's dream. He can look at all of them at once, for real. Every guy's dream, hell.
I like legs too, so I'm afraid of harpies, and it's not my style.
Oh, there's areas of the internet which it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Then again, there are also areas of the internet where, it's just 4chan. Enough said.
There's also areas where one local radio host, he was trying to be savvy, but in truth be told, half the crap he was trying to, because he called up this local madame, escort agency who was trying, who focuses on fetishes, and he was trying to be edgy into funny things which no one's ever heard of. And half the things I was thinking of was like, yeah, you've never been online. It's like, oh, I wanted to call up so I can have a woman eat a shoe.
Believe me, if you're doing research on this kind of thing, you really don't have to look far.
Wikipedia actually does help there, surprisingly.
I plead the Fifth Amendment. Plead the Fifth. I plead the Fifth.
Okay.
Squato, if you're not sure what the Fifth is, look it up.
I know.
I'll tell you later.
I know. I joked about it previously.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, if you finished your review then, Homer?
Yes, I did.
Because I was going to do a quick... I remembered that you apparently redid Order of the Stick a couple of weeks ago. I think you were meant to have redone that.
Re-review it?
Yeah.
Did we?
I think Killerfish said you did. One of the ones I wasn't in.
Okay, I don't remember.
Because all I was going to say real quickly is that with V, I love how they actually showed you having a godlike character that can solve everything, and then immediately, right after all the big stuff's happened, make that null and void.
Yeah, it was. That's an interesting storyline there, right there. Okay, let's just close things up here. Just to remind everybody, get on Twitter for following the comic. It's the absolute fastest way. It used to be RSS feed was the fastest way. Now it's Twitter to get your comic fix for Elgin and Shive.
Oh yeah, yes.
He's a furry with an addiction.
Yes, it's twitter.com/DanTheShive. You can...
I just love the in the center of the name there.
Yes.
I'm going to Dan the Shive.
What is he? He's a shive. What's a shive? Don't ask.
Just as a reminder, AnimeCon is coming up here in August, and Comic-Con and / BunnyCon is coming up here in July. So
Which I will not be going to.
yes, get your tickets. Get up to Comic-Con. By the way, if you are looking to volunteer, the Masquerade is getting kind of short on people since a lot of our regulars aren't showing up this year. So we have room on the staff for it, and if you want to get into the entire con and just work for one night, where you would be there probably anyways, volunteer for the Masquerade. I will get your name into the head of the Masquerade, and we'll get you on the list, and you'll get a staff badge.
I almost got to do that last year. That would have been fun, just watching you guys run across and that. I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. That actually looked fun. Being a part of there.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's just so much fun.
Well, mostly because I got really far back row seats.
Comics reviewed today were yet another Fantasy Gamer comic, Dungeons and Denizens and Wandering Ones. Anything that I left out, guys?
Well, I was going to do. I could say one quick thing about with any meets coming up in Australia, because there's another forum that's based. They've got a few places, but the main ones are in Sydney. They're starting to organise some meets. I know one of the guys that's going there, and it looks like I'll probably be a smart idea if I try to merge in any buddy meets in with that. So any bunnies that are in the Sydney-ish area or will be happen to be in Sydney around those times, yeah, just come if you want. Be warned, it's probably a safer idea to be over 18 because from about 4 o'clock-ish we tend to go get drinking.
I need to go to Australia. I mean, I can't afford it. I'm so sad.
Okay.
Legal age is 18 here, so woo!
Yeah, I had to wait till 21. It's not like I drink much anyway. I was actually...
Oh, don't worry, people drink beforehand.
I spent my 21st birthday by going to work.
See, what they don't realize, folks, is that we're fading out and rolling music right now. So we're going to let them talk.
We are aware. We're just humouring Homer.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks. Homer's not paying attention. Let's talk about him.
Chasing one day after the next. No settle down, no easy text, baby. But it makes me feel alive when you're here by my side. You complete the two of us. You make the rules apply. It's a crazy world. In a twisted turn of reality, it's you and me. And I need you here to keep some sanity. We are but pawns in a faded game of cat and mouse. Maybe a couple of headshots thrown out here and there. This crazy world is all messed up, all in my hair. I've got you, I don't care. But now all that I want is just to be your man. It's a crazy world. In a twisted turn of reality, it's you and me. And I need you here to keep some sanity. We are but pawns in a faded game of cat and mouse. Maybe a couple of guinea pigs thrown out here and there. It's a crazy world, it's all messed up in my head. I got you, I don't care.